I'm going to show you guys how I get all my vitamins and minerals at the beginning of my meal. So this is loosely what I base my diet off of. Organ meats, offal, fish eggs, egg yolks, nutrient-dense foods. Being because they have the highest amount of fat-soluble vitamins as well as minerals. What I'm going to do today is blend up some kidney, liver, brain. I don't have any heart, but we're just going to create this paste puree that I swallow down at the beginning of meals to get all my vitamins in. Obviously easier alternatives to this, like eating fish eggs, eating more egg yolks, eating a lot of fish, consuming cod liver oil pills. Tin cod liver in a can, usually imported from Scandinavian countries, that I've showed you guys in my past videos is much tastier than this. This is just the ruminant, aka land animal, alternative to this, because the only way to get EPA and DHA from a ruminant animal is through its brain tissue. Same with getting a high vitamin A content, you have to kind of eat the liver. Whereas other animals like fish contain more nutrients throughout their body. What you're going to need for this is just the food processor, your organ meats, and you need to have lost your sanity at this point to be following this diet to this extreme. So as I said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to blend this up into puree, and I'll show you guys how I store it. Yesterday I went over and cracked some goat heads, and the way I do that is I wrap them in a plastic bag, just so I don't splatter shit everywhere. And then I just slice it down the middle with a cleaver and a mallet. Now I didn't slice these through all the way, so I might actually have a hard time getting the brain out here. You guys are wondering what this smells like. It's imagine a goat just took a shit in front of you in the middle of a farm, and it's like a really hot, dry summer day. That's what this smells like here from the goat heads. The brain doesn't smell specifically like that, but the general aroma of this head definitely does. And if you're an adventurer, you can go ahead and use the rest of this head for other culinary purposes. There are no tongues in these that I bought, so I don't really bother. We got some brain tissue in the processor. Plenty of blood on the countertop. This is some elk liver here. Nice piece of elk liver. This is really sweet. Great to eat on its own. Here I have another piece of elk liver. And here I have a piece of, this is a piece of beef kidney. I actually have 3 different ruminant animals here if it counts for anything. We have the 2 pieces of liver, the kidney, and a bunch of brain tissue here. Now you can add some clarified butter here, so that when you consume this, and it could be the only thing you consume, or and just to get some vitamin K in when you're consuming this. But let's be real here, we don't want to eat any more of this than we have to, so we'd rather just wolf this down without any extra bulk to it. The texture of this is a lot different than you add the brain tissues, because it's really creamy and it tends to stick to everything, whereas the kidneys and the liver and the other organ meats don't. Now, if earlier when I was putting this in, if you noticed, I had 2 pieces of liver roughly this size, a piece of kidney roughly this size, and about 3 goat brains. And the reason I did that ratio was because that's about the amount of organ meats you would be eating if you had that many if you had like 3 animals, 3 goats. So now what I'll do is I'll take maybe like 2 big tablespoons of this. You know what? Let's do it, maybe 2.5. So with 2.5 big tablespoons of this, I'll wrap it up. And this isn't necessarily all I will eat. Sometimes I'll take 2 of these out of the freezer and I'll eat 2 of these. But generally speaking, I like having them in a not super large size, because a lot of times I will eat like foie gras, or I'll have some fish eggs or something else with this, just to allow myself some variety in my diet. as well as kind of keeping my gut bacteria accustomed to this. So, I mean, that's really it, guys. I'll take these little satchels of organ meats, nutrients, and as crazy as it sounds, this is, if I had a kid, this is probably what I would feed him. I mean, granted, I would probably make sure to either butcher the animal myself or supervise the butchering process, but this is the most nutrient-dense food you could really eat in general, with the exception of fish eggs. So I'll just take these, but just to loosely go over this food, it's in this with the liver, kidney, ton of vitamin A, a little bit of vitamin K, plenty of EPA, DHA, really all the vitamins and minerals you need to have a healthy immune system and just pretty much perform basic metabolic functions. So this is 11 portions, and this is just the bowl I'm going to have later. I'm not going to actually eat it on this video. I got plenty of videos of me eating raw organ meats if you guys want to watch those. So anyway, thank you guys for watching.